Hello my crafty peeps, it's Cheyenne from ecdesignstudios.com. For a full list of products used in all the dimensions, visit my website. Follow me on Facebook for all the latest news and Instagram for sneak peeks and to see what goes on behind the scenes. All links can be found in the description bar. Alright, so this is a little bonus project that I'm doing for you guys. So we just did this little owl card. He's so cute. I'm so in love with him. Now I'm going to show you how to do a little gift card holder. So it's just going to hold like your standard gift card. This is an old gift card that I had that is not good any longer. So I'm just using this as a point of reference. Check my dimensions and all that. Alright, so I will be using the Tin of Tag stamp set. I'm going to use the Snowflakes and Making Spirits Bright sentiment. I think it's really, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous set. I love it. Alright, I'm also going to be using the Archival Basic Black ink and the Soft Sky Stampin' Pad. I'll put those aside for now. I'm going to need a strip of the Mint Macaroon ribbon. Again, you can get it in the holiday catalog in a trio with Rich Raspberry and Delightful Dijon. Also going to be using two framelits. We've got the Stitched Square from the Stitched from the Heart set. This set is on non-orderable status right now until they get a supply back in. They're working with their suppliers to get this in because you guys loved it so much. It sold out so much faster than they thought it was going to. And that's wonderful because I love these. I would love to see Stampin' Up! Do more things like this. It's gorgeous. But if you have the layering squares, there are squares to go with it. So I'm just using the next square up. And in the layering squares, there is one this size too. So you can just use those two if you can't get your hands on the stitch framelits for a while. But I still wanted to show them to you guys because I want you to be excited about it and want to order it and be like the first ones in line when you can order it again. Alright, you're going to need a scoreboard of some sort. This is my handy dandy Martha Stewart one, but I am planning on getting the one from Stampin' Up! I've got some Candy Cane Lane DSP. It is, let's see, 3.5 by 4.5, and they're two pieces of the same. I love the Candy Cane Lane. Sweet. I've said it before. It's just gorgeous, and it is double-sided, so you could use either side. I'm choosing to use the more subdued gingerbread snow sort of pattern. Going to need a piece of scrap white, Whisper White cardstock, and some scrap cherry cobbler. This is bigger than I actually need, but this is what I had for scraps. Alright, so let's get started. Let's do the inking first. So we'll get this out of the way. You can see work from another project. Alright, so first step I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the snowflake onto the Whisper White because this is going to go behind our sentiment. And I picked the Soft Sky because, you know, soft blues, that's what color snowflakes are, right? Or shimmery whites. So I wanted a soft color, so I picked one from the Settles. So I'm going to stamp it off, and then I'm going to push down, let it soak in a little bit, nice even pressure, no rocking, and there we go. A nice, very subtle snowflake. I don't know if y'all just heard, but a big hunk of snow just fell off of my roof. That is kind of the scariest thing. The first time I heard it, I grew up in Florida. I had no idea what it was, and it scared the bejesus out of me. Alright, now I'm going to take the Making Spirits Bright sentiment, and we're going to stamp this in our Archival Basic Black. And we're going to stamp just right over that snowflake, trying to center it as much as possible. Again, straight down, nice even pressure. Let it soak up. I apologize for the state of my nails. Goodness. Need a manicure, something fierce. Alright, so that is our stamping. And let me set these aside. Now we need our big shot, so let me bring that over. Okay, so here's the big shot. Now what I've been liking to do is I've got, I don't know if I can show you with this in the way, the magnetic base plate, which y'all know that I love, and the precision base plate on top of it, and it locks in to place on this. Like, it's a good fit. Like, be careful when you're like putting it together and bringing it back, because there's a whole lot of power between those. So with using the precision base plate, you only need one cutting plate, so that's kind of nice. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the cherry cobbler. I'm going to pop in the larger square. Let's actually put this face down so it's actually going to cut out. I do that sometimes where I put the wrong side down. I know what I'm doing, but it happens to all of us. And now in the center of that, because this does nest in, I'm going to go ahead and place that stitched frame square. If you don't have the stitched frames, you can use, you know, the other square and the layering squares. And we're just going to run this through. Ooh, I'm starting to lose my lights. There we go. Alright, you can, like if you're a little nervous about doing all that, do it separately if you so wished. So actually, you know, that's not exactly what I wanted to do. Okay, so while this is great, I wanted it the other way around. So I've got the stitched shapes as the big one, and then the regular one is the smaller one. This is my first time putting it through. I'm trying to envision my creation. So this is all part of the creative process. There's some trial and error involved in it. So alright, let's run this through. Come on, we can do it. We can do it. There we go. And again, losing that light again. I prefer to film my videos in the light of day, but sometimes there isn't the time. So I have to film in the dark, and I'm still trying to kind of work out the lighting in my new studio. Alright, so there we go. That's what I wanted. A nice frame shape. So let me put that aside because we will be using it. Alright, and I'm also going to take the bigger one and cut it out, the stitched frames, cut out my Making Spirits Bright. Alright, so there we have that. And like this, because it's got the stitch edge, it would be gorgeous, just as it is on a card. But I can't keep things simple, can I? Gotta go big, baby, go big. Alright, let me get the big shot out of the way. Okay, now let's score our box. Alright, so again, we've got two pieces of 3.5 by 4.5. One's going to be the bottom, one's going to be the top. Now the one on the top, you've got landscape mode, so it's the long side of it, the 4.5 inch side. We're going to score it at 1/2 inch and 4 inches. And then on the short side, the 3.5 inch side, we're going to score it at 1/2 inch and 3 inches. Alright, and I've started to score on the top so that when I fold, it's not doing so much damage at the score mark. So, I don't know, it's a subtle difference. Score whichever side you want. Alright, now for the top of the box. Now on the Martha Stewart scoreboard pal, there's this little mark here. It's over like a 1/16 of an inch. So you're just going to take your piece and move it over a 1/16 of an inch. And then you're going to score at 1/2 inch, like what it's at 1/2 inch when it's moved over that little bit. And then you're going to score at 4 1/8. And that's on the landscape mode, the long side. Then on the short side, you're going to bump it over that like 1/16 of an inch. You're going to score at 1/2 inch. And then you're going to score at 3 1/8 of an inch. Alright, and that's all we need our little scoreboard for. Now we're going to take our bone folder and go ahead and burnish our score lines. Okay, so another thing I want to do, I want to run a ribbon through, but I want it to kind of go inside the card and come inside the bottom of the card and come out and around. So I want to do some little cut marks on the long side score marks. So I'm going to get my little cutting pad. Alright, so here's my cutting pad, my ruler, and I want to cut a slit on the score mark, which is not so easy to see, and I want to go from 2 inches to 2 1/2 inches. I'll take my little X-Acto knife, and I'm just going to cut a quick little slit, just like so. I don't know how well you can see. I'm going to do the same thing on the other long side, so I'm making sure, you know, we're at 0 over here. Follow along the score line, start at 2, and go to 2 1/2. So you can see there's a cut line there, and a cut line there. Alright, next thing we're going to do is get this stuff out of the way. We're going to get out our scissors. Now you can do your tabs, you know, from this way or this side. I like to put them on the short side. So you're going to cut, you've got this little square, the little squares in the corner. Alright, so you're going to cut from the short side up one side of that little square, and then you're going to take a little notch out of each side. So you're going to take the square, you're just going to take off those corners. It's going to make it a lot easier for your box to kind of fit together without there being any overhanging pieces or extra bulk to it. And you're going to do this to the bottom of the box as well. Alright, so we've got the 2 pieces of our box. Next thing we're going to do is on the side that's going to face out, we're going to put some tear and tape. Alright, we've got all of our pieces cut, so the next thing we're going to do is on the side that's going to be facing out, the outside of the box, we're going to put some tear and tape on each of those little tabs that we just cut. This is kind of delicate work, but I have to say, having the tape be terrible, like tear-able, T-E-A-R, not like terrible as in awful, makes this so much easier. If you have fast fuse, you can also use that, but I just think the tear and tape is a little bit of a better hold to it. It's a lot of it is personal preference too. You know what you want to use and how much time you got. I just kind of tore that tab. We're gonna have to do some surgery. Now, when working with delicate papers, that is something that can happen. But everything is fixable in crafting. If you were to make this out of cardstock, you wouldn't have that trouble as much. Alright, so for this little tabby that's kind of going off, I'm just going to add a little piece of Scotch tape. Alright, and we're just going to pop off our tape. If you have a piercing tool of some sort that really helps to get the paper backing off. The fast fuse, I have to say, it can be faster because you're not having to muck about with all of this, because there's no paper backing. Alright, so what you're going to do is you're going to have the tabs be on the inside. Square your edges and just pop it down. Just like that. So tabs to the inside. Bring the short side up, square the edges. So there is the top of our box. What's nice about the double-sided paper is you also have the inside of the box decorated too. So there's pros and cons to everything, isn't there? Alright, get this paper backing off. So same thing with the top, or the bottom that you did with the top. Fold your tab under, square up the edges of the box, and press your adhesive. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And there's the bottom of the box. Next, I'm going to take the ribbon. This, I think, might be a difficult part. Right, no, I actually want it to go out. So, alright. I'm going to start outside going in on one side, have it go under, and then inside going out our little slits. Alright, that wasn't nearly as hard as I thought it was going to be. Well, that's good to know. Alright, now I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to get my Making Spirits Bright and the frame. So what I'm going to do with this is just take some liquid adhesive, the Tombow, put a little bit around. A little bit goes a long way with this stuff. And what I like about the multi-glue, the Tombow glue, is that when it's wet and you place it on something, it's permanent. If you let it dry, it's a removable adhesive. So I like having the options. Alright, so there is that little bit. That's all set and ready to go. So what you would do is, I don't know where my reference card is. Hold on. I found it. So you would put your gift card in. You could, get some tissue paper or some crinkled up paper, like put it through the paper shredder. Well, put it through your crimper if you have one, and then a paper shredder, and then you can have all sorts of like little fun crimped pieces of paper, or you could just use tissue paper. And you're going to pop the top on, and then you're going to attempt to tie a ribbon. This is always fun, especially when you're, doing it on camera. It never quite turns out exactly as you expect it to be. Alright, so I'm going to call that a day with the ribbon, because I think that turned out to be a fairly cute bow. And yeah, I do want it to be off. Alright, then I think, let's see, how do I want this? Alright, so this is what I decided I would do. I will take some dimensionals. Well, I'll take a dimensional because I don't want to go crazy with this. So a dimensional. And I've got my ribbon kind of towards the bottom. Now you could tie it so that, depending on how you twist your ribbon when you're tying your bow, it's going to kind of dictate different directions for it. So keep that in mind when you're tying your bow. Alright, I'm going to have this kind of coming off over here. and then have the bow kind of be at the bottom there. Now, when this becomes a permanent solution, I will probably take glue dots and kind of put them on the back of the bow here to make sure it stays there. But this is not a permanent solution, so we're not going to go too crazy. And I think I also want to take some bling, because you gotta have some bling. So this is just the basic rhinestones. I think I'm just going to put a couple onto our little sentiment. Maybe one more, just for good measure. There we go. And if you're like me and you just have to keep going with things, let's get our clear Wink of Stella, because can you ever have enough shimmer? And I'm just going to shimmer up this cherry cobbler a little bit. Oh, all right. Clear everything out of the way as I stab my toe because I'm clumsy. Alright, so this is our finished gift tag holder. You could keep going with it if you wanted to, or it is something that someone's probably not going to keep, but it's a nice package to give, so it's not just in a card, which is nice. If you didn't want to make this sentiment, you could absolutely pop in our little owl. Yeah, kind of have them more like that. Your choice. Or you can go ahead and, add Hootie on that too, if you wanted to. Why not? Just keep going, keep going. But yeah, alright, so here are your 2 projects for today. And thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please like and subscribe. If you're already a subscriber, welcome back. It's so good to see you again. If you have any questions, want to see a specific Stampin' Up! Product demo, or are interested in hosting a virtual party, feel free to contact me or leave a comment. You can contact me through my website. PDFs of all current Stampin' Up! Catalogs can be found on my website. But if you want your own paper copy to hold in your hand and mark up and just thoroughly enjoy, then place an order with me and I'll send them to you for free. So until next time, happy crafting and happy holidays. Bye!